Hello, my lovely people. I'm going to do a collective reading covering Mercury retrograde in Cancer, and I'm also going to talk about the eclipse. So, it's going to be a lot to take in. Just pack your patience. So, the song that came on the shuffle for this collective reading was Set It Off. So, all throughout my readings, I have been telling people to use tact. Use tact. I even need to use it because communication um, could be a little hectic and your delivery may be off. So just be mindful of not what you're saying and how you're saying it. So on the 18th, which is in 2 days, I believe. Yeah, in 2 days, um, Mercury retrogrades in Cancer. So Cancer is a sign, a water sign, and they are the bastard of the zodiac. So you may be discussing like past hurt with your mom or your mother figure. You may be called to assess like how you're spending. Are you like holding tight onto your money like a crab, or are you just giving it freely? Money is an energy. So like if you're just holding on to it, it's no flow with your money. Like I know for a fact, like I paid to get my hair done, and I tipped the girl. I'm like, let me just give her this money. I got that same amount back that next day unexpectedly. So don't be so, tight with your funds because then you're operating out of a space of lack. We operate out of abundance over here, okay? So, yeah. So, mother wounds, your financial stability, even speaking up for yourself. Yeah. Because a lot of times, like as water signs, period, when we feel things, we expect people to read our mind intuitively. And when they don't, we form like resentment for them. And then we'll wait and wait and wait and let it pile up and just have a blow up, which is emotional manipulation. Like if you are feeling a way, talk about it, explain it to that person in clear terms. And if they're not open to receiving or understanding it, maybe they don't have the perception to understand what you're saying. But yeah, so yeah, mother wounds, communicating, your home life. It may be calling for you to redecorate. Redecorate. You may be moving out suddenly from somewhere, like you can't take it anymore, or you're on the hunt for a new place once everything opens back up. So yeah, those are going to be some of the things. And also, I want to note that we are about to experience an eclipse on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, the 21st. This eclipse will be a powerful new moon. So a new moon is a time where you're going to plant seeds for what you want to see grow in the next 6 months. So, not Cancer, this is the collective period. It may be calling for you to be clear about what you want in a relationship. Maybe you're not speaking up and saying what you want, or maybe this person doesn't understand because emotions are getting in the way, or you shut down when it's time to communicate, or maybe they shut down because they feel like you're like emotionally heavy. Just, child, if you need to smoke a J before you had this conversation with them. Try to leave the emotion out so that way everything is communicated clearly and you guys will feel better. So yeah, be clear about what you want in a relationship. Be clear about what you want to do, like with your finances. If it's time for you to get a budget or cut back spending on or eating out, assess that. You could also be developing a new plan for your emotional or like energetic boundaries. Like you've adopted this new practice and you're practicing it now, and then it's going to be like a routine, and then in 6 months to come, and people gonna be like, oh, like I can't even do that with her, or I can't push these buttons. So yeah, that's about it for the eclipse. And what I want to say about eclipses are, during eclipses, the energy is very like just heightened. You're extra sensitive. You're more likely to go off on someone. Just stay in the house. I'm urging you to stay in the house. So the eclipse that we have coming is on June 21st. The next one is July 4th and 5th. Please do not go out for 4th of July. I'm telling you, it's going to be too chaotic. First of all, the energy is already chaotic with what's going on in the world. But, you know, if you want to go out, do your thing. I don't advise it. And then the next eclipse we'll see is November 29th through the 30th. And the last one of the year will be December 14th. So we've been getting hit back to back with eclipses. And eclipses, they accelerate your growth on a spiritual, well, not spiritual, like you can say spiritual, on a spiritual soul level. Like you may be uncovering things that like really don't serve your highest good, or things that really hurt you. You're just addressing these things. So be easy. Make sure you're drinking your water. With eclipse, these things are faded. Like, so don't think like, oh my God, if I wouldn't have went there, that wouldn't have happened. This was bound to happen. So try to stay inside. Try to stay away from mixy people who might have you like just spaz. So, also, we have Mercury retrograde on the 18th. On the 20th, the sun moves into Cancer from Gemini. Happy birthday, Cancers. And then on the 23rd of this month, Neptune retrograde joins Pluto retrograde, Venus retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Jupiter retrograde, and Mercury. Like, this is like some heavy stuff. So I'm going to give you some clues to these things. So Mercury retrograde, the theme for Mercury retrograde is words mean things. If you look in the press, people are like, B. Simone, her words have got her in trouble. So many people, their words have got them in trouble, and you know there's a price to pay for it. So just be mindful of the things you're saying and how you're communicating. Use tact. For Neptune retrograde, something you could do is like cultivate a new spiritual practice. Are you taking baths? Are you putting Florida water in them? Are you putting roses in them? Roses are the highest vibration. Like, make sure you develop that self-care and, you know, spiritual practice. Be clear with your energetic boundaries. So if you have someone who just runs amok, just say, hey, this doesn't work for me. Boom, boom, boom. Saturn retrograde, what have you committed to? Does it serve your highest good? Do you need to negotiate? I feel like this is speaking to your workplace. A lot of people are seeing like how their jobs have treated them during the midst of this pandemic. I have even witnessed like some stuff that has me looking at people from a different lens, and I'm just like, okay, you know, that's how you were shaped from your family. Okay, cool. But I see where you're at. Pluto retrograde, it's time for you to end those self-sabotaging behaviors. Whatever it is, end them now. If you go deal with another person, or say for instance you're not getting your emotional needs met and you go deal with somebody else, it's going to bite you in your butt. This is not the time to even play. Like, I'm not going to say don't do it, but it's your choice. Put it into relationships that don't serve your highest good. That goes for friendships, relationships, people in your family. If it doesn't serve your highest good, walk away from it, because what's going to happen is there's going to be like these big dramatic things that are going to cause you to A, walk away from them, or two, put your feelings in the back seat, and you're just going to be on this loop until you decide that you have learned the lesson, and you should enforce those energetic boundaries. Okay, now we're going to get into the reading, y'all. I know that was a lot to take in. So the first card out is Strength, and it's in the reverse. So in the past, and the collective didn't feel strong. If you look right here, she is playing with this lion. That's the Leo energy. And maybe you, in the past, you had like some traumatic things that happened with the Leo, and it's coming up during this time. Or like, it doesn't even have to be Leo. There's something that you went through that where you had to have strength. Like, it was very taxing on your spirit. And you prevailed. So that's a great thing. You have the Five of Cups in the present. So if you look, this figure, he has on black. He has his head down. He's not looking out on the horizon and seeing what's possible. He's stuck. And when I say he, it can be he or she, because all of us have masculine and feminine energy. So this can be for anyone. So he's not taking into account what he can achieve. There's a castle. Like, so I'm feeling like that's like you have water here. You can have emotional stability. It is yours, but you have to go over this bridge and access this pain that you're, this deep-seated anger. You have to release it because it's hindering these relationships that you want to cultivate. And then if you look down here, there are 3 cups spilled and then 2 behind. He's so caught up on the things that he's missing out on that he's not being present with the things that he has. So it's calling for you to be more present with your emotions. Speak up on whatever it is, but make sure you use tact. If there's something very heavy that you need to discuss, you can talk about it, but like, it's best when Mercury goes into retrograde to not discuss big heavy topics, because people, they're not going to be able to process what you're saying. They're going to misconstrue it. They may be defensive, and you may be just really trying to have a heart to heart with them. So if you don't say about tomorrow, just hold tight until Mercury gets out of retrograde. So it's calling for you to be more present with your feelings. Confront these things. Well, see, I don't want to say confront, because confront has a negative connotation. Discuss these things with this person who has hurt you. And I'm feeling like it's your mom or someone you looked up as a mom figure. You have to talk about these things because it is affecting how you navigate your personal relationships. And it will even affect how you operate with your kids. And now in the future, we have the Nine of Wands. So you are actively, or to come, you are actively trying to, you are actively trying to, what am I trying to say? You are trying to wrap up this cycle, because 10 is a number of completion and you're at the 9 of Wands. So it's like, it's time for you to close out this karmic cycle. How much longer are you going to hold on to this bitterness, this not forgiving? Cancer, specifically Scorpio, Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn. How long are you going to hold on to not forgiving people? Because the forgiveness is going to help you. I promise you. And I'm a Scorpio sun. things didn't unlock for me until I truly forgave people. I felt like a weight was lifted off of my shoulder. You have to forgive. That's the highest vibration of love, because people have these experiences that shape who they are. And we always think from our point of view. You got to think to be more selfless and just think, oh, okay, this person was raised like this, blah, 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 blah. Have understanding and compassion, but don't allow them to abuse you due to those past traumas or whatever. In the overall energy, you are, it's Five of Wands, you are actively trying to fight these battles. You're going up against people who may be like very fiery, and you're like typically reserved, and it's calling for you to access that confidence, access that power. Your throat chakra has blockages. It's the time for you to speak up, but speak up with tact, because if you call this person out and you drop this heavy load on them, you could do more harm. Because if somebody brings up like 5 traumatic things to you and the language is so loaded, you're going to get caught up in the energy, and then you're going to have your back against the wall. And then you may, if you're not a reflective person, then you're going to be even more defensive. And then it's like you're taking 2 steps back. You wanted this person to know how you felt, but you ended up, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. You ended up just making them feel exposed. And when someone feels exposed, they react, all the things which you didn't want. So I clarified these cards in the past, the 2 of Swords. So if you look at this character, it was something she wasn't trying to see, a waning moon, an ending cycle. So you have came out of this energy where you were refusing to see how you were not being strong in your past. Then you have the 5 of Cups. And the card that is clarifying that is the Queen of Pentacles. You don't feel abundant, and you have to speak up and say what you want emotionally, because you feel unfulfilled. For the 9 of Wands, you have the 4 of Swords. I'm sorry. To clarify the 9 of Wands, you're doing that work, and you are laying still. This is talking about this heartache that you experienced, this trauma that you experienced, and you're laying still. It's calling for you to be quiet, to go within yourself, to do some deep digging. I say get a journal. I always say that at the start of your day, set your intentions for your day. When you get angry, journal. What is this bringing up for you? When is the first time this happened? All the things. And I had another, okay. And for the 5 of Wands, once you do this work, guess what? You will be gifted a new beginning, and it will bring forth abundance. Abundance is your birthright. It's your birthright. So it's like your past hurts are affecting your stability. And your stability is your financials. It's your relationships that you're pursuing. So you have to speak up, guys. You have to, because it's doing more harm. It's doing more harm than you even realize. You're not showing up and being present in relationships. So you're just faking the funk, doing situationship after situationship. There's no growth in that. There's no growth. Do you want to be the same person you were 5 years ago? Because I know I don't. It's giving very much elevation over here. Very much elevation. And yeah, that's it. Abundance is yours. You have to do the work. A lot of us don't want to do the work. It's like, oh no, I don't want to access that pain. I don't want to access that hurt. You have to. You have to. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. You can book a reading at www.cosmicpeople.com. Thank you.